Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Hridaya kamala madhye rajitan nirvikalpam sada sada kila bhedati tameka swarupam. Hridaya kamala madhye rajitan nirvikalpam sada sada kila bhedati tameka swarupam. Prakriti vikriti shonya nityamananda murtim Vimala paramahamsam Ramakrishnam bhajama Nirupamamati sukshma nishprapanchan nireham Gagana sadrishamesham sarvabhuta devasam Nirupamamati sukshma nishprapanchan nireham Nirupamamati sukshma nishprapanchan nireham Gagana sadrishamesham sarvabhuta devasam Trigunaraitadachet brahmarupam varenyam Vimala paramahamsam Ramakrishnam bhajama Vitaritumavatirna jnana bhakti prashanti Pranaya galita cetta jiva dukkha sahishnam Vitaritumavatirna jnana bhakti prashanti Pranaya galita cetta jiva dukkha sahishnam Dhrita sahaja samadhan chinmayam komalangam Vimala paramahamsam Ramakrishnam bhajama. Let us adore Sri Ramakrishna, the spotless spiritual swan. He is Parabrahman himself, the changeless absolute, the substratum of the whole creation. He shines bright in the lotus of the heart of every being. He is beyond the grasp of concepts like existence and non-existence. He is devoid of the modifications of nature. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, who is subtler than the subtlest, who is free from all desires, who is incomparable, who resembles sky in all pervasiveness. He is the abode for all beings. In him all feel peace and joy. He is the most worshipful being. Let us adore Sri Ramakrishna, whose heart is filled with love towards all. He could never bear to see the misery of jivas. The Supreme Godhead, the Parabrahman, the Paramatman, has descended on this earth. in the human form of Sri Ramakrishna to bestow real knowledge, to show us real devotion, and to grant us everlasting peace. He is normally absorbed in the transcendental state, but for the sake of leading the humanity, for giving hope to those who seek God, to those who love God, Sri Ramakrishna, with great difficulty, descends from that high state of samadhi. Only because he is full of love towards all beings. It is that love that makes him come downward to this plane of consciousness. So, it is great fortune and great privilege to hear the divine message containing practical hints to spiritual life. It is a privilege to hear him, understand his teachings, and try to practice them in the life. He has come with special purpose of showing how to transform our human life into divine life, how to become spiritual even when we are in this world. He has come to show that we should not lose our head by sticking into the ways of the world. Sri Ramakrishna has come to save us from drowning hopelessly in this ocean of worldliness that saps all energy, that destroys all human excellence, that degrades the mankind into brute level. Sri Ramakrishna has come to save out of his infinite love towards all the beings. So he had to undergo a lot of sadhanas in the life, the outcome of which we have in the form of gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. People often talk about performing duties. How long one has to perform the duties? It's a very important question. What for the duties are meant? The duties are to be performed so that we can develop and cultivate noble qualities in the life. To feel responsible towards the society in which he is born. To learn how to give. If we perform the duties in the right spirit, then all the thorns on our way are cleared off. By performing the duties properly, mind is get into proper shape. We get proper control over the function of the mind. But we must remember that we did not have to go on doing the duties. There must be some full stop somewhere. Where is that full stop? When can we say that we need no more perform duties? Sri Ramakrishna replies in a very significant way. He tells, when we realize the Supreme God, that is the culmination of all the duties. After realizing God, if a person goes into samadhi, completely losing consciousness of the outside world, if he reaches that state frequently, if he is stable in that position, for him no more duties. He is not bound by anything. Yet he does work in order to show model to the people. Nothing else. Sri Ramakrishna gives an example. Suppose we are talking about a particular person, about his talents and other features. Just when we are talking about him, suppose that person immediately comes there, then there is no need to talk any further about that person. Since that person is there, seeing him, we know everything. It is just like that. The performance of duties is only with the object of giving proper direction to the mind, to cultivate good habits, by the help of which we should be able to experience the absolute truth. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of a bee. How long does it buzz? It makes a buzzing sound around the flower garden. It keeps on buzzing till it sits on the flower and tastes the honey of the flower. Sri Ramakrishna warns that each person must have to perform his duties. In the same way, there are duties to be performed by the devotees. Simply calling yourself devotee and not doing the necessary duties will not help at all. If you are to be called a devotee, it means you must practice some of the duties. Then only you are to be called a devotee. Then you have got chance to rise from the devotee level to the divine level. What are the duties of the devotee? A spiritual aspirant. Suppose a person wants to dedicate his life and join the ashram. Well, good. But next, what next? To that extent you are all right. You have renounced everything. You desired nothing. You wanted God. So you came to the ashram. But after coming to ashram, if you are not engaging yourself in proper practices, then it carries you nowhere. It is as if you are in the world, though you are in the ashram. Everything becomes meaningful only if you carry on the duties that are to be performed. Being a devotee, being a spiritual aspirant. What are those duties? Worship, repetition of the divine name, prayer, meditation. All these things are to be done without giving any reason. These things are to be followed every day with most attention and intensity, Such duties, well performed, lead the person to the threshold of the divine experience. There are some people who, even after realization of God, keep on reasoning. Such persons are compared to bees which also buzz a little while sipping honey from a flower. There was a music performance going on. A person who was proficient in music was singing so beautifully. The whole place was surcharged with fine atmosphere. Sri Ramakrishna became very happy and he remarked, wherever you find such outstanding talent, remember that it is the special manifestation of God Himself. It is the power of God fully manifested in that form of talent. Somebody asked him, what is the way to realize God? Sri Ramakrishna answers it in one word, bhakti. Who is a devotee? Who is really called a devotee? Whose mind dwells on God. But this is not possible if one is possessed by egoism and vanity. The water of God's grace cannot collect on the high mound of egotism. It runs down. So, every day you must feel that idea inside. I am only an instrument of God. It is God who is working through me. It is God who works through me. Let me become proper instrument in His hand. That attitude we should cherish in our life, which is the way to get rid of egotism and vanity. Then only we become the recipient of God's divine grace. When God's grace flows, when we are able to understand it, then no more can stop the experience of the divine love. Sri Ramakrishna, in the course of his instructions, said to the devotees, all religions are true. Don't talk about toleration. What is the meaning of toleration? All religions are true. Finished. And all religions take to the same Godhead. He may be called by different names by different religions, but He is the same God. Ekam sad vipra bahuda vadanti. Famous Vedic quotation. God is one, called by different names. This truth is already revealed by the rishis of the ancient times. We have forgotten it. So every day we are quarreling. In the name of religion, we are committing more sins than in other ways. In the name of religion, we are becoming more fanatics, more bigoted, more self-centered, more clannish, all negative aspects of not understanding, not practicing religion in the proper way. Here is Sri Ramakrishna pointing to us very clearly. Don't quarrel in the name of religion. If you quarrel, you are unfit to be a religious man. You are disqualified. You are disqualified. So if you have to get clean certificate, visa, to go to the abode of the Lord, you mustn't quarrel with anybody. You mustn't criticize any religion. And Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of a roof. Suppose a man has to go to the roof to examine something. There are so many ways of going to the roof. Stone steps are there. Bamboo staircase is there. Ropeway is there. Even one can reach the roof by means of bamboo pole. By whatever way you go, you reach the roof. That's it. By whatever religion you follow, you ultimately see God Himself. The tendency of the people is to criticize others. Oh, that religion is full of superstition. This religion is full of errors. This is like that. That is like this. Suppose there are some errors. Does God not know it? He is the knower of everything. Then why are you bothered about that? Why do you say that your watch alone is showing the correct time? Why do you say like that? See, He pinpoints our defects. He pinpoints. You get rid of these defects, you are wonderful. You are loved by everyone. You need not proclaim. People will simply flock at you, seeing your quality in life. That is to be understood. What is needed is yearning of heart, yearning to realize God. Time is going away. My youthfulness is going away. I am aging day by day. All my energies are becoming slow. So before I become helpless, I must achieve something positively. Why not I put forth all my energy at the time when I am able to do it? So that kind of yearning you must develop. Then love of God. God comes to him who loves him. You must feel attracted to God. Else, then you must know you will be taken to the highest abode. God is the inner guide. He is the inner guide. He is inside us. He is manifesting in every human being. So when He is inside here, He knows everything what I do. He hears everything what I talk. He knows everything what I think. He knows everything what I do. So nothing is kept in secret. Nothing is kept in secret. God knows everything and He will show the way. Just our duty is to call on Him. Referring to this, Sri Ramakrishna gave the example of a father and some children. A father had so many sons. Some sons call the father as father, Baba, Papa. But the babies, they can't pronounce. They say only Ba, Pa, like that. But does he not know? The father knows. He is calling him only. In fact, he is more loving towards the child who is calling him as Ba or Pa, rather than those who are calling him Baba, Papa, like that. Because he knows it is child, it is calling him only. So like that, God takes care of everything. So far we have read, and I have given my observations about what we read in the last class. Now I shall read some passage, then your chance to speak. Page 112. Sri Ramakrishna was talking to Hazra on the long northeast veranda of his room when M arrived. He saluted the master reverently. Master said, I should like to visit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar a few times more. The painter first draws the general outlines and then puts in the details and colors at his leisure. The moulder first makes the image out of clay, then plasters it, then gives it a coat of whitewash, and last of all, paints it with a brush. All these steps must be taken successively. Vidyasagar is fully ready, but his inner stuff is covered with a thin layer. He is now engaged in doing good works, but he does not know what is within himself. Gold is hidden within him. God dwells within us. If one knows that, one feels like giving up all activities and praying to God with a yearning soul. So the master talked with him, now standing, now pacing up and down the long veranda. A little spiritual discipline is necessary in order to know what lies within. Master Mahashaya asked, is it necessary to practice discipline all through life? Sri Ramakrishna answered, no. But one must be up and doing in the beginning. After that, one need not work hard. The helmsman stands up and clutches the rudder firmly as long as the boat is passing through waves, storms, high wind, or around the curves of a river. But he relaxes after steering through them. As soon as the boat passes the curves and the helmsman feels a favorable wind, he sits comfortably and just touches the rudder. Next he prepares to unfurl the sail and gets ready for a smoke. Likewise, the aspirant enjoys peace and calm after passing the waves and storms of wealth and lust. Some are born with the characteristics of the yogi, but they too should be careful. It is lust and gold alone that is the obstacle. It makes them deviate from the path of yoga and drags them into worldliness. Perhaps they have some desire for enjoyment, but after fulfilling their desire, they again direct their minds to God and thus recover their former state of mind, fit for the practice of yoga. Have you ever seen the spring trap for fish called the Satka Kal? Master Mahashaya answered, no sir, I have not seen it. Sri Ramakrishna. They use it in our part of the country. One end of a bamboo pole is fastened to the ground and the other is bent over with a catch. From this end, a line with a hook hangs over the water with bait tied to the hook. When the fish swallows the bait, suddenly the bamboo jumps up and regains its upright position. Again, take a pair of scales. For example, if a weight is placed on one side, the lower needle moves away from the upper one. The lower needle is the mind and the upper one God. The meeting of the two is yoga. Unless the mind becomes steady, there cannot be yoga. It is a wind of worldliness that always disturbs the mind, which may be likened to a candle flame. If that flame does not move at all, then one is said to have attained yoga. Lust and gold alone is the obstacle to yoga. Always analyze what you see. What is there in the body of a beautiful form? Only such things as blood, flesh, fat, entrails, and the like. Why should one love such a body? Sometimes I used to assume a rajasic mood in order to practice renunciation. Once I had the desire to put on a gold embroidered robe, wear a ring on my finger, and smoke a hubble bubble with a long pipe. Mathur Babu procured all these things for me. I wore the gold embroidered robe and said to myself after a while, mind, this is what is called a gold embroidered robe. Then I took it off and threw it away. I could not stand the robe anymore. Again I said to myself, mind, this is called a shawl, and this a ring, and this smoking a hubble bubble with a long pipe. I threw those things away once for all, and the desire to enjoy them never arose in my mind again. It was almost dusk. The master and M stood talking alone near the door on the southeast veranda. Master to Mahasaya, the mind of the yogi is always fixed on God, always absorbed in the self. You can recognize such a man by merely looking at him. His eyes are wide open, with an aimless look, like the eyes of the mother bird hatching her eggs. Her entire mind is fixed on the eggs, and there's a vacant look in her eyes. Can you show me such a picture? Master Mahasaya, I shall try to get one. As evening came on, the temples were lighted up. Sri Ramakrishna was seated on his small couch, meditating on the Divine Mother. Then he chanted the names of God. Incense was burnt in the room, where an oil lamp had been lighted. Sounds of conch shells and gongs came floating on the air as the evening worship began in the temple of Kali. The light of the moon flooded all the quarters. The Master again spoke to M. Master said, perform your duties in an unselfish spirit. The work that Vidyasagar is engaged in is very good. Always try to perform your duties without desiring any result. We shall stop here. Any questions or observations or talks? All the questions are answered by Sri Ramakrishna. Very good. Let us conclude today's class. One thing you must remember that so we build the temple. Every ashrama has got a shrine. We call Ramakrishna Ashram. That means Sri Ramakrishna is the deity being worshipped there. So, whenever we come to the temple, we should take all interest in attending the services. We are doing services directly to God. It is not simply we are waving the lamp to the picture. It is not like that. Sri Ramakrishna is living, is a living embodiment, because according to traditional ritual, Pranapratisthapana is done. The Lord has been invoked. His relics have been embedded here. It's very important. Whatever we do in this chapel will give you million times more merit than doing anywhere else. It bears direct result. And Mahapurush Maharaj, in one of his talks to devotees, has remarked, in fact I have made some copies, next time when I bring I will give you. He has remarked, those who attend the evening services of Sri Ramakrishna, all their sins are washed off, and it's a meritorious deed to attend this service of the Lord. So let us bear this in mind as soon as we come. Suppose we happen to come during evening time at the time of service, let us not turn our back and go somewhere else. You know it is 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock means there the Lord's service begins. No, you should not run away. Oh, let me go before the service starts. Why? Why do you run like that? If you have to run, run towards God. Don't run towards the world. Anyway, chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean, and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame as many times as I may be reborn. Grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. O long for the day when an instant's separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years. When my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without Thee is as heartless void. Prostrate at Thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of Thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of Thy presence. Though it tears my soul asunder, O Thou who stealest the hearts of Thy devotees, do with me what Thou wilt, for Thou art my heart's beloved, Thou and Thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For He being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.